If a real fight came to your street next Tuesday, most of the guns in your safe would get you killed faster than they'd keep you alive. That's not an opinion. That's what happens when people buy rifles that look cool on Instagram instead of rifles that actually survive contact with reality. Here's the filter nobody talks about. A survival rifle has to pass 3 tests. Can you feed it with ammo you'll actually find? Can you fix it without a factory? And does it make your neighbors panic when they see it? Fail any one of those, and it doesn't matter how expensive the gun was. It's a paperweight. I'm going to walk you through 9 rifles that pass all 3. Some of them will surprise you. One of them is going to make the comment section explode. And I want you to tell me which one at the end. Let's start with the Springfield M1A SOCOM 16. This is a .308 Winchester rifle in a package short enough to actually move with. 16.25-inch barrel, about 35 to 38 inches overall, depending on how you set the stock, and around 9 pounds loaded. The action is a direct grandchild of the M1 Garand, which means it's been proving itself since before your grandfather was drafted. Here's why it earns a spot. When the problem is 300 yards out and hiding behind a car door, 5.56 asks nicely. 308 kicks the door down. The SOCOM gives you that authority in a rifle you can actually run inside a hallway. It's not cheap. Expect to pay north of $2,000, but you're buying the closest legal thing to a civilian-designated marksman rifle. Worth it. Next, the Savage Model 42. This one looks like a toy next to the SOCOM. And that's exactly the point. It's a break-action over-under with 22 long rifle on top and 4 10-shot shell on the bottom. 20-inch barrels, about 6 pounds, folds in half at the push of a button. Why does a break-action combo gun make a war list? Because war lists are stupid if they only think about war. You still have to eat. A .22 will drop a rabbit at 40 yards without waking up the neighborhood. And a .410 with a slug handles anything from snakes to raccoons in the henhouse. It stashes in a backpack. It teaches a kid to shoot without recoil. And when ammo gets weird, .22 LR is going to be the most tradable currency in America. Third, the Kel-Tec SU-16C. This is the rifle nobody talks about because nobody can find one. Kel-Tec makes these in small batches, and they sell out the same weekend they hit shelves. If you see one, buy it before you finish reading the price tag. The SU-16C is a 5.56 gas piston rifle that folds in half, weighs about 4.7 pounds, and collapses down to around 25 inches. It uses AR-15 magazines. There's a safety design where the fire control group folds with the stock, so it physically cannot fire when it's packed. That's not a gimmick. That's the reason it can ride in a backpack with a round in the chamber and not scare anyone. It's the ugliest rifle on this list. It's also one of the smartest. Fourth, the IWI Tavor X95. Israel doesn't build rifles for gun shows. They build them for a country that's been at war since 1948. The X95 is their standard infantry rifle, chambered in 5.56, and the whole thing is a bullpup, which means you get a 16.5-inch barrel in a package that's only about 26 inches long overall. It weighs right around 7.9 pounds. Here's what a bullpup actually gives you. Full rifle ballistics in a package short enough to work inside a car. It runs a long-stroke gas piston that eats dirt for breakfast, takes standard AR magazines, and swaps to left-handed configuration in about 15 minutes. If World War III happens on American streets, it happens inside buildings and inside vehicles. Length matters. The X95 gets it. Quick question. Which of these have you already got in your safe? Drop it in the comments before I get to number 1, because I already know half of you are going to disagree with where I rank the AR-15. Fifth, the Kel-Tec RFB. This is what happens when somebody looks at a .308 battle rifle and asks, what if it was 2 feet shorter? The RFB is a bullpup chambered in 7.62 NATO with an 18.5-inch barrel, and the whole gun is about 27.5 inches long. Compare that to a standard 40-plus-inch 308 semi-auto. The party trick is forward ejection. Brass comes out the front through a chute instead of flying sideways, which means it runs the same for right-handed and left-handed shooters. Kel-Tec's quality control has always been hit or miss, so buy one, shoot 500 rounds through it, and find out which one you got. But when it runs, you have full 308 power in a package the size of a carbine. Nothing else on the civilian market does that. Sixth, the Ruger Mini 14. This is the rifle on my list you're going to argue with, and you're going to be wrong. The Mini 14 fires the same 5.56 as every M4 in the military, but it does it through a fixed piston gas system that runs cleaner and simpler than direct impingement. It takes 20 and 30 round mags. It costs less than most AR builds. But here's the real reason it's on this list. It doesn't look like a weapon. Slap a wood stock on it and it reads as a ranch rifle. In a scenario where you're moving through a neighborhood full of people who don't know you, the rifle that doesn't cause a 911 call is the rifle that finishes the trip. That's what pros call a gray gun. The Mini 14 is the original. Seventh, the FN SCAR 17S. This is the premium tier. This is what special operations forces around the world actually run when the mission is real. Chambered in 7.62 NATO. 16.25-inch barrel, about 8 pounds, short-stroke gas piston, fully ambidextrous, folding stock. Everything about this rifle was engineered by people who assumed it would get dropped, dunked, and dragged. MSRP is around $4,000. Street prices float in the low 3,000s. That's a lot of money. It's also the last rifle you'd ever have to buy. Groups stay tight after thousands of rounds. Recoil is soft for the caliber. If budget is not the deciding factor, the SCAR 17S is the answer to the question of what's the best. Eighth, the Beretta CX4 Storm. Stay with me, because I know a 9mm carbine on a war list sounds soft. It isn't. The CX4 is a 16-inch barreled 9mm pistol caliber carbine that looks, to any untrained eye, exactly like a hunting rifle. It runs Beretta 92 magazines, which means if anyone in the family carries a 92, you have a matched system. Inside 100 yards, it's accurate, controllable, and recoilless. A grandmother can shoot it. A teenager can shoot it. And if the wrong people show up at your door and start asking what guns you own, the CX4 doesn't look like the answer they came for. Around $700 new. That's not the point of this rifle. The point is, who else in your household can run it under pressure? Ninth. And this is where I'm going to lose some of you. The M1 Garand in 30-06. Yes, the 80-year-old rifle. Hear me out. Every other gun on this list depends on polymer, precision CNC, and a supply chain that reaches back to a factory. The Garand doesn't. It's steel and walnut. Every part on it can be measured with a caliper and remade by a competent machinist with a lathe. In a real long-term grid-down situation, the rifle a community can maintain is worth more than the rifle a Navy SEAL wants. 30-06 punches through cover that laughs at 5.56. It hits man-sized targets past 500 yards on iron sights. And the CMP still sells them for $650 to $900. Buy one before you buy your third AR. Which brings us to number 10. The AR-15 in 5.56 NATO. And you knew it was coming. But the reason it's here isn't accuracy or reliability or any of the specs you've heard 100 times. The reason is math. There are over 20 million AR-15s in this country. That means 5.56 ammunition will be the most scavengeable round on the continent. Spare parts will exist when nothing else does. And the guy 3 houses down can probably help you fix it. No other rifle has that support network. That's the whole argument. So here's the takeaway. The best survival rifle isn't the one that looks best on your Instagram. It's the boring one. The one that eats common ammo, fixes with hand tools, and doesn't announce itself to the neighborhood. Pick 2 from this list. A quiet one and a loud one. That's your loadout. Tell me which two you'd pick in the comments. And tell me what I left off the list. I already know somebody is going to say a K-47, and I already have a video answering that. It's on the screen right now. Go watch it.